Hi, my name's Kelly, and we're here with YogiApproved.com. Today we're going to move through 12 basic yoga poses to help relieve any low back pain or tension. We often get low back pain from sitting all day and other stressors of life. So let's get started. So go ahead and face to the right. So find your yoga mat, step right in the center, feet are hip distance apart, slight bend in your knees. Let's roll down, chin to chest, one vertebrae at a time, full forward fold. So take a big inhale here and exhale as you elongate your spine. If you want to take a little more tension out of your neck and shoulders, you can interlace your fingers at your elbows and find a little sway right and left. So this pose is great to stretch out your hamstrings, release tension in neck and shoulders, and of course, relax and elongate your spine. So you can stay here for a few breaths, do whatever you need to, maybe bending your right knee and your left. Just stay in that forward fold. We're gonna move on today into our next pose, which is downward dog. So go ahead and step your hands out and feet back, finding an upside down V. So press your palms into the mat, lift your hips high, pull your core up and in, and length through your neck, rooting your heels down to the mat. So this pose is great because it stretches through your hamstrings and through your back and releases neck and shoulder tension. So go ahead and walk it out if you'd like, bending your right knee and your left, getting in through your hips. You can move through this pose. Take some deep breaths. Inhale in and exhale out, really lifting your hips up to the ceiling. Big inhale and exhale. Again, you can stay here, but we're gonna move right along into our next pose. So coming down to all fours, we're gonna come into cat-cow. So make sure your hands are in line with your shoulders, knees are in line with your hips, nice flat back and long spine. And then tuck your tailbone under, chin to chest, rounding your spine. Take a big inhale as you find cow, and then exhale as you elongate, tailbone towards the ceiling, take your gaze up, arching your lower back. And a few breaths here, rounding back and forth. Inhale, round through cow, and exhale, arch. If you want to take this into some circles, you can add that on, finding movement through your spine. This is a great counter stretch to sitting all day and helps strengthen your lower back. Again, staying here for a few breaths. We're going to move right into our next pose, which is thread the needle. So starting on all fours, we're going to start by opening our chest. So reach your right arm up to the ceiling. You can roll your wrist to the right and to the left. Big inhale, and as you exhale, thread your arm all the way through, coming onto your right shoulder. Left hand can come up above your head, finding some length, or you have the option to cross your hand behind your back, taking your gaze up, finding a bind. So this pose is great to twist through your spine. It detoxifies, also stretching out through your neck and shoulders. Take a few deep breaths here, and then make sure you come out of the pose just as you came into it, reaching left arm up, all the way forward, and then coming back to all fours, take right arm up to the ceiling, and back through center. And make sure you do the second side to even it out. So go ahead and come onto your knees, onto the floor, face towards the side, and make sure you're at the center of your mat, heels to your seat, sit up nice and tall to start. We're gonna round down, chin to chest, taking your hands to your heels, and take the top of your head all the way onto the mat, and then rolling up onto the top of your head. So to get a little deeper, you can lift your hips. Nice, and take a deep breath here. So this is finding flexion through the spine, elongating your neck, and stretching out through your upper neck and upper back. And then slowly lift up. Again, slowly, one vertebrae at a time, come to seated. Often that pose can cause dizziness, so make sure you roll up nice and slow. And moving right along into child's pose. So stay seated, so heel on your seat, sit up nice and tall, take your knees out just a little wider than your hips. And then you're gonna take your hands forward onto the mat and take your hips back and forehead to mat. So make sure you're really comfortable here. This is a nice restorative posture to release the lower back. Try and relax your neck and shoulders. And you're taking tension out of your hip and your lower back here.
And really think about elongating your tailbone towards the mat and find some deep breaths here. Inhaling in through your nose and exhaling out. All right, so you're in child's pose. Next, we're going to come into one of my favorites. So this is pigeon's pose. So to start, let's tuck your toes under and press your heels back into the mat. It's easiest to come into this posture through downward dog. Take a big inhale as you reach right leg up towards the ceiling. Inhale and exhale, knee to chest, and go ahead and gently place it onto the mat. So your right knee is bent about 45 degrees. You can play around with this if you want to pull your right leg up a little. Lift your chest to start, and then inhale, slowly round all the way down, either onto your forehead or your arms, and you can play around with it, how far you roll onto that right seat. So this is one of my favorite poses because it really releases your hips. So your psoas and your piriformis, which are strong hip muscles, tend to get really tight from sitting all day and even just from walking around in daily activities. So when those hip flexors get tight, oftentimes that translates into lower back tension. So this is a great exercise to release your hip joint and release any tension through your lower back. So coming back up, lifting your chest, tucking those left toes under, reaching right leg high, inhale, exhale, take it back, downward dog, big inhale, and exhale, moving to the second side. So make sure you do both sides to find balance throughout your hips and lower back. So moving right along, we're going to come into Apanasana. So sit up nice and tall on your mat and slowly roll down one vertebrae at a time all the way onto your mat. So you're nice and flat, pressing your lower back into the mat. And then we're going to hug our knees into our chest. So hug your right knee and then your left. Make sure they're zipped together and then hug yourself in. So take yourself into a little ball and then think about lengthening your tailbone down. So you can find a little sway right and left here. This helps release any tension and of course helps release toxins as well. So just find a nice sway right and left and take a few deep breaths. And then moving right along to Ardha Apanasana. So go ahead and take your right knee into your chest, grabbing onto the top of your knee and extend your left leg long. So that left leg can come all the way onto the mat, flexing your toes. So this helps release any tension through the front of your left hip and of course that lower back tension as well. So knee into your chest, again maybe finding a little rock right and left. This will help alleviate any stiffness from sitting all day or walking around and all the other daily activities. So right knee into your chest, inhale, exhale, switch. Make sure you do both sides so you have nice even hips, stretching out the front of your right hip, your psoas, piriformis, therefore releasing your lower back tension. So now we're going to move into a spinal twist. So your left knee is pulled in, grabbing with your right hand to the outside of your left knee, and then extend your left arm long onto the floor and pull your left leg across your body to the right. So try and keep your left shoulder onto the mat, and then you can pull that leg over as far as you can, depending on your flexibility. If you have any lower back injuries, just don't twist as far. Otherwise, you can pull it all the way over, deep spinal twist. So this is one of my favorites. Great detoxifying pose and really stretches through the lower back. And then use your core to slowly bring your lower back onto the mat and come back to center. Left knee into your chest, inhale, and exhale, switch your legs. So right knee is pulled in, taking your left hand to the outside of your right knee, right arm out to the side, and pulling your leg gently across, and taking your gaze over to the right. So again, twisting as deep as you can, whatever feels good on your lower back, and try to drop the right shoulder onto the mat. Deep spinal twist. Make sure you do both sides, keeping even balance throughout your body. Use your core to come back up to center. Right knee into your chest. And next we're going to come into happy baby. So knees are into your chest, bringing your knees just out to the sides of your rib cage, flexing your toes and grabbing the insides of your feet. So elbows will be right at your inner thighs, right about at your knees. And then press your lower back into the mat and find a little sway right and left. So this pose is great to release your hip flexors, stretching through your inner thighs, and of course, the theme
back tension. It's releasing our lower back. And then bring your knees into your chest. Coming into our next pose, which I'll demonstrate on the mat. However, if you have a wall, feel free to use it. You're going to extend your legs straight to the ceiling, flexing your toes. So make sure your heels are right in line with your seat, and again, lower back is pressed flat into the mat. So option to just hold this here with legs extended, or if you have a wall, you can bring your hamstrings, back of your legs up to the wall and relax. So this helps with blood flow, circulation. It's very much a restorative pose and feels great after sitting all day. And then moving into our last posture, which is our final Shavasana, how we end every class. So extend right leg, left leg long, flip your palms up to the ceiling, and just try and melt into the floor, relaxing your whole body. This is like the dessert of our workout. So again, releasing your lower back, maybe closing your eyes, take a deep breath, and you now have a healthy and happy lower back. So feel free to stay in Shavasana for as long as you like. That's our final resting pose and where we will end our session for today. Again, my name's Kelly. Thank you for joining YogiApproved.com and look forward to seeing you again on another tutorial.